after years of moving about, at what point can the Foxes be considered one of the big six, would you say? They're in the club now.
Well, it depends what that barometer is. If the barometer is winning things and sustained levels of attainment, then they're there and thereabouts. If the other barometer, which is the barometer that judges the Tottenhams and the Arsenals of the world currently, it's the economics of how much money your club brings in, how big your stadium is, and how your image runs around the world in people's minds. Because Arsenal and Tottenham, irrespective of whether Tottenham haven't won anything of any significant for a very long time, and certainly haven't won the league for 60 years, still operate with a level of relevance and brand association and awareness that goes with a top six club.
What, and Leicester don't?
They don't, irrespective of winning that league. I mean, we were talking about when they won the Premier League, American fans saying it's Leicester City because of their awareness. Now, that's changed. Leicester are a brilliant football club. They've been a brilliant football club for a long time, you know, and this ascent to winning the Premier League against the backdrop of a league that probably will never be replicated again, but also their consistent performance, their decency in the marketplace, the way that they operate, illustrates a club. But there's a parochial feel about Leicester.
Still?
Yeah, not because I want there to be one, and not because their achievements dictate that there is one, but because there's something, when you think of Manchester United or Tottenham and Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea and more recently Manchester City, there is a little bit of a little bit of gold dust there that I don't think they're entitled to at times. But because they've built up an image in the mind of the Premier League over the last 30 years, the Premier League is the sum of all its parts, but it's been built. The gold rush that Sky brought to the fore, those clubs, with the exception of Man City, and for a period of time Chelsea, but the last 20 years of Chelsea being featured in it, have been the main stalwarts and the mainstays of what makes the Premier League fizz.
Right, so Leicester at the moment still not accepted in your eyes as part of the elite in the Premier League because they don't have this gold dust.
But in the attainment, if we judge sport solely by performance, and clearly the world does not anymore,
True.
Right? Then Leicester are most certainly one of the elite performing football clubs currently over the last half a decade. Right? But if we judge them by a raft of other intangibles that come into play, like their brand value around the world, their recognisability, their perception of them, the livery, the history of them, you can't insert Leicester there. You just can't. And you can't, to some extent, insert Man City. But Man City insert themselves because of the compressing and the conflation of the last 10 years worth of achievements.
So if they're not accepted now, Simon, will they never be accepted, Leicester?
Well, everything moves, doesn't it? Everything changes. But, and we're seeing the Premier League shake up a little bit with people's expectations of the way that clubs should behave whilst they're in it. But I think it's always going to be a tall order because Man United now are a shadow of Manchester United that were once before. Irrespective of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's put them second in the league and they may get to the Europa or may win the Europa League, they are not the rampant, rambunctious, all-consuming, all-conquering poster boys for the Premier League anymore, are they? But yet still, what's his face, who's going out the door soon, Ed Woodward, is able to secure massive deals on endorsement terms because other people think of Man United in that category. They don't think of Leicester that way, do they?
What's his face going out the door soon?
I know.
Ed Woodward, that's him. So Leicester fans, what do you think about that? I mean, having listened to Simon, sure, a lot of that resonates with me, Simon. Recognisability, if you like, global brand value. Leicester don't have it. So how can they be accepted as part of the Premier League elite? Is that too cruel? First thing in the morning to hear on this show? Do they not have the gold dust, as Simon suggests they don't, to help them be welcomed into the elite in the Premier League? 08717 223344 81089. In spite the fact that they're flying high, in spite the fact that it's going to be Champions League football, it looks like next season.